Hey y'all, it's Dr. MC, and we are back with Spaces from Above. So, for those of you who are just watching season 2, it's a little bit different from season 1. One of the big differences is that episodes are split into 2 parts. So they're coupled. So this is part 2. This is a new episode, but this is the partner to episode 3. So episode 4, but the partner to episode 3. And this season is also different because I am talking about womb trauma. So there are lots of disclaimers around this episode, but if you are someone who has dealt with sexual assault in particular, of any kind, sexual trauma, it might be appropriate for you to not watch this episode and or watch it with somebody that you trust and are safe with. So in episode 3, I shared a very difficult story about my sexual trauma history, and for this episode, I am going to talk about how God has redeemed me and continues to redeem me. And one of the things that I remember most after the second assault that I experienced in adulthood, technically the third, it's interesting how even reflecting on it, I can still convince myself that certain situations, no matter how many times I said no or tried to stop the person from having sex with me, that, oh, well, that really wasn't rape. Yes, it was. And part of God's redemption has been teaching and showing me what I was able to learn shortly after the third time that I was assaulted as an adult. And that is just how much He loves me. And it may sound a little strange that that is what I've learned and that is how He's redeemed me, considering the traumatic nature of this kind of violence and abuse. But that is one of the first things that I learned as I was trying to heal, as I was trying to find answers and trying to find any sort of peace. God immediately started sharing like a love letter with me about how He's always here. He's always been there, and always has my back. And I'm glad that I had that experience early on, because it helped me to continue to move forward with just a little bit of purpose, and it kept me from being completely hopeless. Experiencing sexual violence is very debilitating, and it strips things from you. The act of sex is an exchange, and so when it's taken by force, it's difficult. It's difficult to live. Getting up every day is difficult. And so, and of course, everybody's experiences are unique and different. That has been my experience, is that it was very difficult to have a desire, a hope to just get through each day, each moment some days. And so I, have spent a lot of time healing and serving in spaces where women in particular have survived sexual assault. I have spent a lot of time advocating for women who have experienced sexual assault in different ways. And through that, I realized that God was allowing me to heal through some of these encounters, was allowing me to be a support and a listening ear and a quote unquote shoulder for women to cry on so that they didn't feel alone. And in that space, I didn't feel alone. I felt more hope. I felt, oh, well, it happened. I hate that it happened, but I'm able to help somebody. I'm able to encourage them. I'm able to inspire people to have more hope and to heal and, different things. And so it definitely put me in a position where I was looking forward to opportunities to serve and looking forward to ways that I could give meaning to the trauma that I'd experienced. And so recently there's been a major shift with that because God has taught me that, it's not just about you serving others. It's not just about you finding your purpose and helping somebody else through what you've endured. That it's an opportunity for you to understand and relate to and be closer to me. And that is the part that has been the most difficult to grasp, but also the most rewarding. I have been doing a lot of work around being comfortable, feeling safe, and trusting that it's okay for me to just be God's daughter. I have been in a space where I've been allowing God to parent, to show me that He's a good Father. And some people watching might think like, how dare she say that? That's where God and I are. I've asked God over and over again to prove Himself to me. Sometimes I've explicitly asked that. Other times my behavior was asking that. Because I would run off and do what I wanted and try to pursue my desires. And it was showing God, she needs me to prove to her that I'm God, that I have what's best for her, and that I'm a good father. And so time and time again, I would see God showing up tenderly, lovingly, sweetly, saying, hey, I got you. I know you thought that this relationship was going to solve all your problems, but there's nobody that can solve your problems like me. I know that you thought getting all these degrees was going to make you feel accomplished. No one can make you feel more accomplished than me. I know you thought that all these businesses and all these programs and all these books and workbooks and etc. We're going to finally be the thing to make you feel that you are making me proud and that you had a real purpose in life. But no one can demonstrate that for you better than I can. And so the redemption that I've experienced is pretty simplistic, but it is very intentional and very detailed. And it is really just a story of God showing me that He made me. He formed me in my mother's womb. That He understands the complexities that are me. That He understands the mishaps, mistakes, doubt, fear, mistrust, rage, annoyance, the part of me that wants to hide from God. He gets all of it. And he still chooses me. He's still so happy that I'm his daughter. It gives him great joy to be in my presence and for me to be in his presence. And that's been redemptive for me because, again, the nature of this type of trauma, because it's physical in nature and it reaches the most intimate parts of your physical being, it's important for me to connect with my Father in the most intimate ways so that I can heal those parts of me. Nobody can see my heart but God. Like, sure, I can, go to an x-ray, put a monitor on, but like, God made my heart. He sees it from the inside. He knows the brokenness. He was there when the traumatic situations happened, and it grieved him. And so he's grieving with me. He's healing with me. And not that he requires any healing, but he's with me so that I can heal. He is intentional about being patient with me, showing kindness towards me, because it's scary to trust a God that allows such terrible things to happen to you when you were helpless, when you didn't ask to be in the world. And so being able to understand and feel and know that God is willing to be most vulnerable with me, that God is willing to uncover all 1,000,000 layers with me, knowing that there is quite literally nothing that can separate me from his love. That has been one of the most precious love stories ever told in my life. And it's still being told. There's still a lot of redemption happening. I'm learning new things about sexual trauma. I'm learning particularly how, the enemy uses it to destroy everything about you and your family and the generations to come, or at least try to. So there's been a lot of new healing that's happening. There's been a lot of new revelation. And it's been slow. Sometimes I am reluctant to go through the experiences, and I wish that I could just erase it or hurry through it. And every time God is sitting right there, like, okay, you need to walk away. I'll be here. I'm not leaving you. You want to try to run? That's all right. I'll probably follow you if I have to. Because chances are right now, I'm going to come running back. I tried running. I had a long season of running. Didn't work out too well. So when I think about running, I'm like, you know what? Let me get in my word. Let me have a conversation with God. And I have spent the last several months in particular having lots of healing, loving, restorative conversations with God. And one of the most beautiful and precious ways that he expresses his love to me is through my relationship with my son. And I can't articulate it, but there are moments, there are things that my son will do. Sometimes he'll just come up to me and hug me. And it's almost as if God is saying to him, go hug your mom. She needs to feel my love. And knowing that my son is safe, knowing that God exposed the enemy to myself and to my husband so that we can do the work before he was born to get deliverance from those demonic principalities and spirits and the whole lot of them, so that we could do the work to heal. And we're not going to pass that on. We didn't pass it on to him. He won't pass it on to his children. That is beautiful. That is redemption. That is God returning what the enemy stole. That is beauty for ashes. Having such a ferocious attack against my womb and being able to birth a healthy child. That's redemption. And having faith that I'll birth another. That's redemption. Especially after episodes 1 and 2. So if you are somebody who has experienced sexual trauma, know that the Lord has a plan to redeem you. If you haven't started experiencing that, maybe this episode gave you some language for, oh, yeah, that's happening. If you are looking forward to experiencing it, know that you can start with God's love. Again, I was trying to think of some resources that I have, but this is very personal, so I don't really have the resources. The resource is me sharing my story. And the resource is our Heavenly Father, the source, is our Heavenly Father. So, pray. Pray that God will reveal to you how He's redeeming you. Ask Him to send you to scriptures. Like, there are so many that speak to me about His plans and His current activity that's happening in my life, to redeem and heal me. And I'm seeing now joy coming back and staying. I'm seeing hope creeping in there and going, hey, we like it here. We're going to hang out. I am seeing a love that's being developed in me that I didn't know I could possess. And I'm sure there's a lot of other things. I'm just not thinking of them right now. But the enemy always loses. No matter how crafty his tactics, no matter how many spirits he sends, no matter how high ranking they are, he always loses because of Jesus. So if all else fails, just call on Jesus' name. Worship Him. Read about Him. Know that He is petitioning on our behalf all the time. And know that God has a plan for your redemption and your healing, even from sexual trauma. All right, so share this with somebody who could use the message of hope. Share your questions, your comments, and the next pair of episodes will be still about womb trauma, but much lighter than episodes 1 through now 4. So I probably won't give a disclaimer for that because I don't think it'll need it. But yeah, thank you guys for rocking with me. You know, season 2 is heavy, but it's necessary. And I do believe that God is going to continue to heal, deliver, and set free. So, all right. I love you guys. And I'll catch you in the next episode. Take care.